Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to your own channel Medu Study. I am your friend Ashutosh from I am Indore, and friends, in Medu Study this is your own Cat 21 Dream IM series, in which in 75 days 75 videos we are doing comprehensive coverage of cat. Our today's video, my dear friends, is on VA topic, and like I am telling you from very beginning, VA topic we have made 18 videos. 8 are your basic videos and 10 practice videos, and in this 8, 3 are for VA practice and 5 are for grammar practice. So this practice videos and basic videos and especially your grammar videos 10, 20, 24, 29, 34, keep referring them again and again so that you understand the rules of grammar. And in our practice we are using basically these concepts only. In practice also we have already, out of 10 we have done 7 type of practices. Questions we have done, fill-ups, correction, close paragraph and all. You can see this list up to here. Today we will do the next practice questions, which is your basically summary questions. So summary questions is also a very important, and I would say in cat if we see past couple of years paper, 2 to 3 questions come. So it is basically 6 to 9 marks in cat. And if you are not good in RC, you can at least attempt summary questions, where instead of reading the entire big passage, you will be reading a small passage and writing the summary. So this is also known as cat paragraph summary, or in short sometimes also called cat para summary. It has become a regular feature of cat verbal ability. Like I am saying, from past few years, questions every year come from this thing. And usually, like I told you, there are 3 questions. You can take it to be 2 to 4 and safer side 3. So but when I say 3, that means basically your 9 marks, which is very important in cat. Aspirants, particularly the ones who are weak in RC, can no longer afford to miss this topic, because doing 2 to 3 summary questions is equivalent to solving an RC passage. Okay, let us understand some of the techniques and then we will do the practice. This is how we have structured today's video. First we will be doing the techniques and then the practice. So how to approach? Paragraph summary questions ask you to choose an option that succinctly captures the essence of paragraph, which is usually, so here short paragraph will be given. Your RC passage is sometimes up to 500 words. Here a short paragraph of 100 to 150 words is given, and it is followed by 4 options. 4 options will be given. Now what you will need to do, how to find out the summary? Let us see the tips and techniques. First one, read the paragraph carefully. You must understand the paragraph. So first, it is important to understand the paragraph. If you have not understood the paragraph, the chances are that you will not be able to pick the right summary. Please leave the question if you are not able to understand the concepts of paragraph. So since in this one question only one summary is there, it is not like 3-4 questions are there. If you are not able to understand the paragraph, do not waste time, read it 2-3 times, just leave it and move to the next question. You should be in one reading be able to understand the paragraph. Second, once you have understood the passage, you must try to pick the subject matter. So next, try to pick the subject matter of the passage, means what your passage is talking all about, that we will need to understand. With the logical link between the nouns, you must start comparing the options. So see the logical link and start comparing the options. Option comparison is a very important step. Right option must not have anything apart from what is given in the passage. So basically no assumptions. In right options, it should not have anything apart from what is given in the passage. So whatever is given in the passage, that only should be mentioned in that summary option. Right option must not distort information, and lastly, right option must not leave any critical information. So it should basically cover everything. Usually the options distort information or add something that is not given in the paragraph. Let us move to the next part, what we should do after this. You must look at the differences between the options. So many times there will be only a word or 2 difference between the options. Try to identify it and capitalize on that. Point of difference should be evaluated. Very important thing. We need to evaluate the point of difference. You should see if the passage has any hint that helps to understand which option is better and which is not. Start with elimination process. Then start with the elimination process, checking out those options that you feel have flaws. If 2 options are very close, you should mark the one that maintains the focus. Sometimes it will happen that in 4 options, suppose it is A, B, C, D, you have clearly ruled out A and D, but B and C are very close. So in that, go for an option which maintains the focus. Essence is more important than the less valuable information. Two options might be equally true, but one will talk about the essence while other will focus on insignificant detail. So key is that we should look for the essence. The option which captures the essence should be looked. And last, once you are convinced, you can choose the right answer. So seventh is once you are convinced, choose the right answer. And many a times out of two options you will be able to eliminate in another to see which is capturing essence and which is talking about insignificant points. Now we have given you some practice questions. What kind of passage comes, options, and how to approach. Use the steps which we just discussed. Let me read out the first paragraph for you. North American walnut sphinx moth caterpillars, Amorpha juglandis, which is its scientific name, biological name, looks like easy meals for bird, but they have a trick up their sleeves. They produce whistles that sound like bird alarm calls, scaring potential predators away. Okay. So how these caterpillars scare their predators by using a false bird-like alarm whistle. At first, scientists suspected birds were simply startled by the loud noise, but a new study suggests a more sophisticated mechanism. The caterpillar's whistle appears to mimic a bird alarm call, sending avian predators scrambling for cover. When pecked by a bird, the caterpillars whistle by compressing their bodies like an accordion and forcing air out through specialized holes in their sides. The whistles are impressively loud. They have been measured to over 50 dB from 5 cm away from the caterpillar, considering they are made by a 2-inch long insect. So they are making a strong sound, loud sound. Now let us see the 4 options and then see how to approach this question. North America walnut sphinx moth caterpillars will whistle periodically to ward off predators. They have a specialized vocal tract that helps them the whistle. North American walnut sphinx moth caterpillars can whistle very loudly. Loudness of their whistles is very shocking as they are very small insects. North American walnut sphinx moth caterpillars, in case of acoustic deception, produce whistles that mimic bird alarm calls to defend themselves. North American walnut sphinx moth caterpillars, in case of deception and camouflage, produce whistles that mimic bird alarms to defend themselves. So see, option number 3 is the correct summary option. And why I say so? I say so because in another option it was telling that, see, first one it is telling why it is done and all, but this defensive thing which is the main aim, okay, and it is case of acoustic deception, which was something which is clearly arising from the paragraph, is something which comes out in option 3. So option 3 is the correct summary of this particular passage. Let us move to passage 2. Both Socrates and Bacon were very good at asking useful questions. In fact, Socrates is largely credited with coming up with a way of asking question, the Socratic method, which itself is at the core of the scientific method popularized by Bacon. Socratic method disproves arguments by finding exceptions to them, and so it is basically telling about Socratic method of asking questions. Disapproves arguments by finding exceptions to them and can therefore lend your opponent to a point where they admit something that contradicts their original position. In common with Socrates, Bacon stressed it was as important to disprove a theory as it was to prove one, and the real world observation and experimentation were key to achieving both the aims. Bacon also saw science as a collaborative affair with scientists working together, challenging each other. Both Socrates, now let us see the options. Both Socrates and Bacon advocated clevering questions to the opponents to disprove their arguments and theories. Both Socrates and Bacon advocated challenging arguments and theories by observation and experimentation. Both Socrates and Bacon advocated confirming arguments and theories by finding exceptions. Both Socrates and Bacon advocated examining arguments and theory from both sides to prove them. See, second part of the passage is mentioning about importance of using the both sides. So this is something which captures the actual essence and the facts of the passage. So option number 4 is the correct summary. Let us move to the third passage. To me, a classic means precisely the opposite of what my predecessors understood. A work is classical by reason of its resistance to contemporaneity and supposed universality by reason of its capacity to indicate human particularly and indifference in the past epoch. The classic is not what tells me about shared humanity, or more truthfully put, what lets me recognize myself as already present in the past, what nourishes me in the illusion that everything has been like me and has existed only to prepare the way for me. Instead, the classic it what give access to radically different forms of human consciousness for any given generation of readers, and thereby expands for them the range of possibilities of what it means to be a human being. A classic is able to focus on the contemporary human condition and a unified experience of human consciousness. A classical work seems to resist particularity and temporal difference even as it focuses on a common humanity. Classic is a work exploring the new, going beyond the universal and contemporary and the notion of unified human consciousness. A classic is a word that provides access to the universal experience of human race as opposed to radically different forms. So see, if you read the paragraph, you will see option C is something which is clearly summarizing it in a very concise manner. So it is the correct summary. Let us move to the fourth passage. Artificial embryo twinning is a relatively low-tech way to make clones. As the name suggests, these techniques mimic the natural process that create identical twins. In nature, twins form very early in the development when the embryo splits into two. Twinning happens in the first days after egg and sperm join, while the embryo is made of just a small number of unspecialized cells. Each half of the embryo continues dividing on its own, ultimately developing into separate complete individuals. Since they develop from the same fertilized egg, the resulting individuals are genetically identical. So it is basically telling about your artificial embryo twinning and your twins. So let us see the options. Artificial embryo twinning is a low-tech and mimetic of the natural development of genetically identical twins from embryo after fertilization. So this is very clearly giving you the essence, but let us read other options also. Artificial embryo twinning is low tech unlike the natural development. So unlike the natural development, this unlike word is something which is wrong. Artificial embryo twinning is just like the natural development of twins, where during fertilization twins are formed. Artificial embryo twinning is low tech and is close to the natural development of twins, where the embryo splits into two identical twins. So option number 1 is the correct answer, because this is something which is capturing the essence and the entire complete coverage. Let us move to the next, fifth one. Should the moral obligation to rescue and aid persons in grave peril felt by a few be enforced by criminal law? Should we follow the lead of a number of European countries and enact bad Samaritan law? Proponents of bad Samaritan law must overcome at least 3 different sorts of obstacle. So it is telling about the obstacles which proponents of bad Samaritan law must overcome 3 different sort of obstacles. First, they must show that the laws are morally legitimate in the principle, that it is the duty to aid others is a proper candidate for legal enforcement. Second, they must show that this duty to aid can be defined in a way that can be fairly enforced by the courts. Third, they must show that the benefits of the law are worth their problems, risks and cost. Okay, let us see the option. A number of European countries that have successfully enacted bad Samaritan law may serve as model statutes. Everyone agrees that people ought to aid others. The only debate is whether to have a law on it. If bad Samaritan law are found to be legally sound and enforceable, they must be enacted. Bad Samaritan laws may be desirable, but they need to be tested for legal soundness. So this one, because it was telling that it is desirable in this first part, but then it is telling the obstacles also. So this is something which captures the essence. This one single line is the correct summary of this passage. So seeing friends, this was some examples of how to approach the summary questions, and I will suggest you that there will be up to 2 to 3 questions definitely in your 28th November exam. Read the passage with patience, evaluate the options and definitely go for it. It is a scorer for CAT exam. In our next, we will start geometry, which we will cover in our 3 videos. Geometry is an important concept and definitely questions come in CAT, so we will be doing the concepts in great detail. Friends, how you are liking our content, please let us know. And if there is any confusion in how to do this para summary questions, let us know. We will provide you more questions for practice and clear each and every doubt. If you are liking our content, please like the video, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you friends, take care.